Amy graduated from college 2 years ago, and she purchased her house 2 weeks before her 24th birthday. Here's why and how she did that.
Buying a house is a big decision, especially being out of school for only 2 years and only being 24 years old. The biggest factor in me deciding to buy a house was seeing one of my coworkers. He and I were both living in Grand Rapids at the same time, and he rented for about 6 months, and then that whole time that he was renting, he was looking to buy a house. So I kind of saw him go through that process, and I thought, hey, I can do that too. And then he kind of broke down for me how much he was saving. So his rent payment was $1,000 a month, and he found a mortgage payment that saved him about $300 a month. And so looking at what I could find in kind of that price range, and based off how much I was paying in rent, I realized that I could be saving close to $500, $600 a month, because I was paying $1,440 to live in an apartment downtown. And so looking at the price range I wanted to be in, I could get a mortgage payment for about $900. So the biggest factor for me in deciding to buy a house was definitely the cost savings and the idea that you're actually building equity rather than just giving money to a rental company.
Once Amy made the decision to buy a house, she had to consider how much she could afford to put toward a down payment.
That was the biggest thing to me, was that I was able to find out that you can put a lot less than 20% down. So looking at my house, it was only about $7,000, which is a lot less than what people think.
Amy bought her house with a conventional loan and mortgage insurance, and a 5% down payment.
Private mortgage insurance sounds, I think, anytime people think that they have to pay an extra fee or anything, they automatically don't want to do it. But I think it is one of the greatest things because it does help you have that extra money. And I think there's nothing worse than you put 20% down on a house, but if something happens, if you have to get a new roof and pay an interest rate on that, it's going to be way more than the $50 a month you're paying for your PMI, because you're going to be paying a 17% interest rate to put a new roof on your house because you didn't have money for it. I think it is awesome that we're able to do that, and it helps people like me actually get into homes rather than having to wait another 10 years to build up 20%.
Amy currently pays $325 per month toward her student loan debt. Her credit score is 771.
I went to school for 4 years and had to use financial aid for all 4 years, so I have a student loan payment of about $325 a month that I have to pay. But actually looking at your credit score and sitting down with my loan officer and everything, he actually pointed out that that's really important, because when you've only been out of school for a couple of years, you don't have any loans really on your record. So having student loans and making that monthly payment on time actually helped add to my score and help build credit history for me.
Amy and her real estate agent, Dan, looked at 11 different homes and put offers on 4 of them.
So I think along with down payment being an important part, and then looking at your options for what you can do to put less down, the most important part with being a first-time home buyer is also finding a good real estate agent. So I was able to use mine that my friend used when he bought his house. And Dan has a long experience of helping first-time home buyers. So he helped me through the whole process a lot. He was able to kind of know not only what to look in for a house, and especially in the price range, because when you're looking at your first home, you can get some pretty scary things in the price range I was looking in.
Another important relationship was the one Amy developed with her loan officer.
I got pre-approved within 24 hours. I got an email about my loan application getting through, and I got every step of the way, and then I actually was able to close 2 weeks earlier than expected because they were able to get everything through for me. And then just going in there, they were super helpful with explaining, because I had never done anything like that. So my loan officer sat there for an hour going through absolutely every little point that I could possibly have a question with, and that was really helpful. And then even the relationship afterwards, even though I'm not paying money directly to them, they still send me cards making sure everything's okay, and then they even sent me a gift card thanking me for working with them.
Thanks to a low down payment loan and mortgage insurance, Amy is saving money and building equity.
Private mortgage insurance helped me buy my house with only 5% down.